The portal behind them flickers and fades as Stubby Wubby steps forward, his red eyes scanning the dark terrain. The radioactive bat hovers above, casting eerie green light across the hillside. In the distance, silhouettes of terrified villagers sprint down the slopes of Nagvara hills, their faces twisted in panic, some glancing back at the strange duo. The night is tense, filled with the sound of hurried footsteps and distant cries. From the shadows, the bear of Mysore emerges. A sloth bear, shaggy, black-furred, with a white chest patch and claws like blades. Its snout twitches. It snorts. Villager 4. Terrified. It's him. The bear charges. Chaos erupts. One man is knocked to the ground. Another swings wildly. The bear swipes, sending Villager 2 tumbling down the slope. Villager 1. Yelling. Get to the shrine. Move. The bear rears up, roaring. Its claws glint in the fading light. Villager 3 throws a stone, it bounces off the bear's flank. The beast turns, eyes locked. Suddenly, a green beam slices through the mist. The radioactive bat swoops overhead, casting eerie light. Stubby Wubby appears from the shadows, red eye glowing. Stubby Wubby. Low voice. Fall back. He's not done yet. The bear growls, then retreats into the brush, vanishing as quickly as it came. Silence returns. The shrine is cracked. The men are bloodied. One lies still. Kenneth Anderson, ever the meticulous tracker, unfurled a crumpled map of Sakrapatna beneath the flickering lantern light. He marked the last known sighting near the woodworker's cabin, then turned to Stubby Wubby. "I need precise coordinates," he muttered. "No more guesswork." Stubby Wubby blinked his red eye, then raised a skeletal finger toward the glowing bat overhead. The bat emitted a pulse of green light, and in its wake, a constellation of fireflies formed a shimmering grid across the forest floor, an ancient, organic GPS. Kenneth scribbled the numbers into his notebook. Latitude, 13.3130 degrees north. Longitude, 75.7392 degrees east. "That's Sakrapatna," he whispered. "The bear's not just wandering. It's circling." The bat reveals the grim message. "The guard has been mauled." Stubby Wubby translates the pulses of light into words, his voice low and rasping. Kenneth's grip tightens on his notebook. The forest is no longer just dangerous, it's hostile. Headquarters now set in a modest, weathered house owned by the Mysore Forest Department. Nestled on the edge of Chikmagalur's misty coffee hills, it's a relic of colonial forestry, with moss creeping up the stone walls and jungle pressing close from all sides. Inside, Kenneth Anderson pores over maps pinned to cracked plaster. Stubby Wubby sits on a creaky bench, red eye flickering as he watches the forest through a fogged window. The radioactive bat clings to the rafters, its green glow illuminating a chalkboard scrawled with coordinates, claw-mark sketches, and the haunting note. The bear-mauled guard. A rifle rests by the door. The lantern sputters. The jungle is quiet, for now. At exactly 4:30 the next afternoon, the quiet at the Mysore Forest Department bungalow shattered. A man burst through the doorway, breathless and wild-eyed, his shirt soaked with sweat and dust clinging to his skin. Stubby Wubby rose from the bench, red eye glowing faintly. Kenneth Anderson stood, notebook still open, as the man gasped. "My brother, he grazes cattle near the Old Hill Trail. The bear, it mauled him. It came from the rocks. From the lair." The radioactive bat stirred in the rafters, its green glow intensifying. Anderson's eyes narrowed. He turned to the map pinned to the wall and circled the hill with a trembling pencil. "We move at dawn," he said. The hunt had just become personal. Kenneth Anderson didn't waste a moment. With the sun dipping low and the jungle thick with tension, he set forth from the bungalow armed with a rifle slung over his shoulder, a torch in hand, and 3 or 4 seasoned helpers trailing behind him. Stubby Wubby followed silently, red-eye scanning the underbrush. Overhead, the radioactive bat flitted between branches, casting eerie green beams through the canopy. They trekked 9.6 kilometers into the heart of the jungle, an hour and a half of thorns clawing at their clothes, roots twisting underfoot, and the air growing heavier with each step. Then, just as the last light began to fade, they reached it, a heavily scrubbed hill, bristling with dry grass and thorny bushes. The kind of place that doesn't just hide things, it buries them. Anderson raised the torch. Claw marks on the rocks. Bones scattered in the undergrowth. The lair was close. Stubby Wubby moved silently through the brush, his red eye scanning for signs while Anderson followed the trail with rifle and torch. When the helpers refused to go further, Stubby Wubby didn't hesitate. He crouched beside the bloodied footprint, pointing with one bony finger while the radioactive bat hovered overhead, casting green beams that aligned perfectly with the trail. Stubby Wubby, ever loyal, crouches beside Anderson in the underbrush. His red eye scans the unconscious grazer, then flicks to Anderson's twisted ankle. Without a word, he lifts the dying man with surprising strength, cradling him in his elongated arms while supporting Anderson with his shoulder. The radioactive bat circles overhead, casting green light through the mist as dawn creeps in. Anderson groans, clutching his leg, but Stubby Wubby presses forward, dragging both man and burden toward the sound of approaching footsteps. Kenneth Anderson lay in a modest hospital room in Chikmagalur, his ankle bandaged and elevated, and 4 drip looping from his arm. But his mind never left the jungle. Stubby Wubby sat nearby, sketching the monstrous bear with eerie precision, red-eye glowing softly in the dim light. The radioactive bat clung to the vent above, casting a green glow across the room like a sentinel. On the bedside table, a rifle, a notebook, and a map marked with fresh coordinates. Anderson didn't rest, he recalibrated. The hunt would resume the moment he could stand. No warning. No hesitation. It bursts from the underbrush near Ayankir Lake, claws raised, teeth bared. The 2 men barely have time to react. One stumbles backward, the other raises a stick in vain. The radioactive bat circles overhead, casting a green glow on the chaos. Stubby Wubby watches from the shadows, red eye flickering. Shaggy black fur rippling, claws extended, white chest patch flashing like a warning. It bursts from the rocky crevice of its lair near Ayankir Lake, roaring with primal fury. The underbrush splits beneath its weight, and the jungle recoils. Stubby Wubby watches from behind a tree, red eye glowing. The radioactive bat hovers overhead, casting green beams that slice through the mist. The hunt is no longer theoretical. The bear is real. And it's on the move. Anderson didn't waste time. He arrived in Sakrapatna just after sunrise, still limping slightly from the hospital stint. Villagers gathered around him, voices hushed but urgent. The bear had changed its pattern, no longer lurking near the shrine or the lake. It had begun prowling fields bordered by borum trees, just 1.6 kilometers from the village. The borum trees stood like sentinels, their twisted branches casting long shadows over the crops. Farmers had stopped tending the fields. One man swore he saw the bear standing upright beneath the trees, sniffing the air like it was waiting for something. Anderson marked the location on his map. Stubby Wubby adjusted the rifle sling across his shoulder. The radioactive bat circled once overhead, then darted toward the trees. The hunt was back on. Anderson sits beneath the largest borum tree, rifle resting across his lap, eyes scanning the fields. The sun casts long golden shadows through the underbrush. Stubby Wubby crouches beside him, red eye flickering as he listens to the forest's whispers. The radioactive bat circles slowly overhead, its soft green glow barely visible against the amber sky. The jungle is quiet. But not still. Anderson sits quietly beneath the tree, rifle across his lap. The jungle is hushed, save for the occasional chirp of a nightjar and the rustle of dry leaves. Stubby Wubby crouches nearby, red eye glowing faintly, scanning the brush. Then, a sound. Faint. Rhythmic. The unmistakable scrape of claws against earth. Anderson. Whispering. He's digging. Somewhere in the distance, the bear of Mysore is tearing into the soil, searching for roots. The sound echoes through the trees, distorted by the terrain. Anderson tightens his grip on the rifle. The bat circles overhead, casting green beams that sweep the forest floor. The hunt is no longer patient. It's listening. The sloth bear emerges from the brush, snout twitching, claws dragging through the soil. It pauses. Then, rising, rears up on its hind legs, towering above the undergrowth. Crouched man. Terrified whisper. He's standing. The bear roars, mouth wide, white chest patch gleaming in the torchlight. Anderson doesn't flinch. He raises the rifle, eyes locked. Anderson. Low, steady. That's close enough. Stubby Wubby crouches beside him, red eye glowing. The radioactive bat circles overhead, casting green light across the clearing. The bear sways, snorting, claws raised. Anderson exhales slowly, then pulls the trigger. Stubby Wubby. Quietly. It's hit. The jungle erupts in sound, birds scatter, branches snap. Anderson lowers the rifle, eyes still fixed on the shadows. Anderson. To the crouched man. Stay here. I need to see if it's down. The sloth bear staggers, blood streaking its chest. It rears up one last time, towering over Stubby Wubby. Its breath is ragged. Its eyes burn with fury. Anderson. Whispers. He's going for you. Stubby Wubby steps forward, cloak torn, red eye glowing. He raises the torch, flame crackling. Stubby Wubby. Low voice. Then let him try. The bear roars and lunges, its massive paw slicing through the air, a final, desperate swipe. Stubby twists, cloak whipping behind him. The claws miss by inches. Crouched man. Breathless. He missed. Stubby Wubby stands over the fallen beast, torch casting long shadows. The radioactive bat descends, green eyes dimming as it lands on the bear's flank. Stubby Wubby. Quietly. He fought like a king. Anderson. Nods. But the jungle chooses its end. The torch flickers. The jungle is silent. The hunt is over.